Yes, and the date and the time and this poster.
Now see.
Can I refresh it?
In my opinion, we are live.
Yes, it's working.
It is working.
Yes, sir, it's working.
Great. Thank you. So my friends, if it is working well and now we are live, I'm awaiting our guest speaker should join us by 8:15. But till then, let me introduce myself and start with our activities for today. And, as we have scheduled, planned already. Okay. So I would like to welcome all our speakers. We have with us Sneha, Tanvi, and Ria, who will be our speakers and presenters for today on this topic on social media and leveraging networking. And we also have our lead intern, Nikita, as well as Payal, who will be helping us in coordination and if needed, also some interventions. Yes, we have Tanvi also as a speaker. And before I go to our speakers, today's program, please follow this structure. All speakers, including me, will give brief introduction about themselves, and then give one or two lines of their introduction of the topic what they want to cover, and then they will start with their talk. The idea is we will be talking more and giving less presentation, which Payal could have already briefed you. And this is the format that we do. The reason behind it is that we don't want to, do a stereotype PowerPoint presentation. It doesn't help too much. And I don't want to burden people by, too much of information through data and all, which kills nothing. The idea is when we are talking, when we are doing work, we should be learning by, in a natural process, number one. Number two, take home. Whatever talk that you give, how much I take it and when I go home, I remember it. I want to have that much only, nothing else. Because many times you do lots of PowerPoint presentation, nobody bothers, nobody listens, and your time is over and it is waste of time. And there is no leadership quality there. There is no confidence there. I want to understand your body language, number one. I want to understand knowledge, number two. I want to understand interpersonal skill, how you react to certain questions. I also want to understand if you forget something, how you respond. So there is nothing, we are all learning here. So my friends, I welcome you for today's webinar on social media and leveraging strength. Let me introduce myself. I am Ravi Kumar, your host and founder of Modlingua Group. For last 20 years, I am running this company, Modlingua. When I started in 1999, when I was doing my master's in Jawaharlal Nehru University. And after my master's, I did my MPhil also. I worked for Peruvian Embassy. I wrote many books. I edited also. I have been professor at Indian Institute of Foreign Trade for 13 years, from 2000 till 2013. Then I went to Canada for my higher studies. I came back and started with uh, giving back to our community and started a community building. And luckily, in last 6 years, we have grown in community as well as access and created variety of training programs, at times paid, at times free. For last 6 years, this summer internship program is there and it has gone well. And I am fond of networking. Number one, I'm also fond of promoting translation business, especially the entrepreneurial part of it. I have published more than 20 research papers, edited 7 books, and I have also been, involved into social work. I have certain expertise in law also because of my LLB. So this is in brief. But as an entrepreneur, I keep on trying to learn, new things by doing new things. Not only theory but practice also, including digital marketing, social media networking, leveraging, attended many networking webinars, seminars, conferences, and try to learn things. So during our internship program, I would like to share my 20 years of experience in social media marketing and networking. And of course, our guest speaker, Mr. Amit Nagpal, will also be joining us in few minutes. He will also share his 20 years of experience, as a person from digital marketing background. And he has also launched, Bloggers Alliance, which promotes bloggers, and network among themselves. I'm also one of its members. And in addition to whatever we are doing, if you had prepared yourself for our speakers, if you notice, I have already had some lectures on social media marketing, including there is a model called AIDA model, also pull and push marketing, also roadmap. There are certain strategies that are followed in reaching out to people and promoting your business. Now let me, there are two aspects of today's lecture. One is social media and another is networking. Social media has become very important tool in last 10 years, I will say. And many people, on average, an Indian gives at least 2 to 3 hours on Facebook and Twitter, as well as on WhatsApp, etc. And that is quite a considerable, degree of time. There is one positive aspect is that we cannot now avoid it. But there is a negative aspect attached to it, which I would always like to warn about it. With that, I will talk to you, in the middle of our talk, which is very important to understand how social media is negatively impacting our lives. However, social media has created tremendous opportunities also and generated, millions of jobs for language people. First, as a digital marketer. Second, as social media expert, data analytics, content writer, writing, social media, management. And it has also helped a variety of, entrepreneurs to reach out to masses in quickest possible time. And the kind of impact it has created on social life, political life, business life, economics, economy of a country. Many times war strategies are discussed on social media. Many times, businesses discussed on social media. Many times, even on social media, investors, they track number of messages, over a period of time on a daily basis, and they learn if there is something disturbing, something exciting, something positive or something negative or something very dangerous thing coming in social media, the number of messages increase and decrease accordingly. And investors understand sentiments of the people. This is what is called sentiment analysis. And after understanding that, they decide whether they want to enter into the market and invest more in, or they want to exit. So they predict future, and they learn from social media after analyzing behavior through various tools and techniques. And very aptly, they enter in the market and they exit. And in a fraction of a second, there are investors who lose billions of money, billions of dollars, and there are smart ones who earn billions in that particular disturbed zone in a way. So this is advanced level of social media understanding. In crux, you have to understand that most of the people nowadays are engaged in some or the other form through social media, and they like it. And that is why they invest more time. Many people have now even lost interest in watching news on televisions, and they devote more time on Twitter, they devote more time on Facebook or LinkedIn or even WhatsApp or Telegram, etc., and try to gather only those information in which they have likings. So if war is going on, it may not impact many people at all, because this is totally a globalized world, and you have right to kind of filter out those messages which you don't like. So, this is how the social media is playing important role in our lives. So we as a language professional can make use of this opportunity. And we have tremendous opportunities, I am telling you, because through social media platform, you as a linguist can promote your business, promote your brand, promote your thoughts, and attract followers, engage with them, and develop a relationship. And that is what is called networking. There is one aspect of networking that happens virtually, and there is another aspect of networking that happens on day-to-day life, which is not virtual, but it is relationship build up through friends, when you meet with friends, through family, through lectures, through professors, etc. I have come across variety of people who are poor enough. When I say poor enough, in the sense they are poor, but they have high ambitions. They don't cripple about being a poor. But through their network, they leverage and get everything done, including waiver of fees for their wards, including admitting in a 5-star hospital whenever they have any ailment, including sending their children abroad without any fees, including the cost for air tickets. So that way, when things start happening, that is what is called leveraging network. So my friends, if because of some reason or the other reason, we as a linguist, we as an individual have certain weaknesses, nowadays it is no more a weakness. Because if you are weak and you know how to play, you know how to reach out to people, things can be done. Many times you cry out in social media, Twitter, etc., 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 and reach out to ministers, they respond. Because they have a compulsion. If you don't respond, people are watching. Earlier, this used to not happen, but now it is happening. Similarly, you want to reach out to people abroad, you connect through Facebook, you connect through LinkedIn, You reach out to HR people. You reach out at times to CEOs of a big company. And that can happen only when you are very creative. If you devote more time, or we devote more time only in liking and chit chat and sharing, some funny pictures or dinner and uh, riding on a car, etc., it is good, but it is not good enough for promoting you as a professional. So in our internship program, you might have noticed, we focus more on helping you understand the importance of engagement in social networks and promoting your professional profile. That is what is called digital footmark. Your profiles has already been created at Modlingua website. This is one step which has a good content now. Now it is your duty to promote yourself in social network by sharing that information about yourself as a summer intern of Modlingua, because now you have entered in the professional world. And that is how slowly, on a daily basis, when you do activities, you create consistency. You do all these things consistently, and a phase comes when people start, understanding you, because you have created a footmark. Slowly and slowly, virtual world is recognizing you. And when that start happening, lots of people start approaching you for friendship, number one. They also approach you for certain work to be done, or you can offer your services. But if you purely start, pushing yourself, direct marketing about your activities, nowadays it never works. There is a book also, if you read about on that book called Never Cold Call Again. Means gone are days when you used to give a call and ask for business. People, you should create, system, funnel in such a way that you don't go to people, people come to you, clients come to you. That is now, the magic of social media. And that happens only when we create good digital footprint, we create good followers, we have good target audience. And slowly a time comes when people start, talking to you, coming to you, engaging with you, and you at times become influencer. And that again generates multiple effect in your life and business. So with this, my friend, I would like to welcome you for today's session. We have with us our guest speaker, Dr. Amit Nagpal also. And just to give you a brief about Dr. Amit Nagpal, he is president of Bloggers Alliance. He has been a professor also, and he has quite a good number of years of experiences digital marketing. He has done his PhD also in the same area. We will come to him, in a while. But what I wanted to tell you was that Dr. Nagpal will give a talk for half an hour, and then we will have question answer session. But before Dr. Nagpal comes to his talk, I would like to invite our speaker, first speaker, for Sneha, who will be giving her presentation today. Sneha, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Sneha, please go ahead, Sneha.
Thank you, sir. Social media is about sociology and psychology more than technology. Good evening, everyone. I am Sneha Mutreja, this year's summer intern at Modlingua. I am a graduate in Hindi literature from Miranda House College, University of Delhi. Currently, I am pursuing my master's degree in same, along with a diploma in translation and theory from Central Institute of Hindi. So now, let's kickstart our today's webinar entitled Social Media and Leveraging Network. So what is social media? Well, as we all know, social media is a computer-based technology that facilitates the sharing of ideas, thoughts, and information through building of virtual networks and communities. By design, social media is internet-based and give users quick electronic communication of content. Today, we have enormous range of social media platforms ranging from Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, WhatsApp, Medium, Pinterest, and many more. The content on social media that we have
It seems there is some connection issue. So before Sneha comes back to normal, I would like to invite our next speaker. When she comes back, she will follow it up. We will follow it up. Tanvi, are you there? Tanvi, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
So let's start with Tanvi. Meanwhile, Payal, please coordinate with Sneha, and we will put her into waiting room for the time being. Yes, Tanvi, please carry on.
Hello, everyone. I am Tanvi Goyal, and I'm intern at Modlingua. I am graduated in business management and currently doing my French from Alliance Française, waiting for my exam TELF. And I'm here to present the important key elements of social media marketing. The first and the important key element is identify a business goal. Every social media works according to the goals you set. So it is very important to set your goal carefully. Some points we should keep in mind before setting the goal, that they must be realistic, achievable, specific, and reachable. For example, if we talk about cosmetic industry, if a company set a goal to raise its sale, so they have to concentrate on their product description, because in cosmetic industry, product description matters a lot. It helps the customer to choose their product according to their skin product, according to the product description. So they must be focused on the product description more. And the next goal is set marketing objectives. It is very important now after setting goals. It is essential to know how to achieve that goals via marketing. For example, if we talk about insurance company, if an insurance company wants to gather data of the customer, then they can plan a survey on different social media platforms. By putting some small price for it, then more and more people get attracted toward it. And the next is choose channels and tactics. Today we have many social media platforms for the marketing. We can't go on every social media to promote the business, because if we choose wrong social media or for the company, it will waste the time and give less return as well. So choose social channels wisely, and to get better results from them is very important for a business. For example, if we talk about cloth industry, to promote a cloth brand, Facebook and Instagram is much better place than LinkedIn. And then last but not the least is create content strategy. Content is the main key highlight, because content writing is the one which put impact on the customers. So it must be specific, catchy and precise, easy to read and understandable. Or we can say, in other words, kam shabdon mein apni baat kehna. People dislike to read long description. For example, if I talk about clothes again, if I talk about myself, if I'm want to purchase some clothes or some like suit, so firstly I go for the description, a description like price, type of cloth it have, and the size. If this information will not be there, I'll surely not buy that cloth. So that content matters a lot. People need content to buy any product. So to strategize your content is very important. In the end, to strengthen the brand and to sustain customer, it is very important for any business to analyze and strategize social media marketing. Thank you. Now I will pass over to my friend who talk about pros and cons of the social media. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Tanvi. I am seeing that Sneha is back. So let's go back to Sneha and listen to her. What she was talking about her after introduction about herself.
Thank you
Please,
very
Sneha.
much and sorry for the interruption. So continuing the thing, the content may include personal information, documents, videos, photos, etc. The power of social media is the ability to connect and share information with anyone on earth or with many people simultaneously. Social media has changed the way that we all interact with each other online. It's given us the ability to discover what's happening in the world in real time, to connect with each other and stay in touch with long distance friends, and in order to have access to endless amount of information on our fingertips. In many senses, social media has helped many individuals find common ground with others online, making the world seem more approachable. Now imagine you have created a flawless piece of content and you are ready to share it with the world. But how? You post that on social media, but still, no one is seeing the content you worked so hard on. Now the question arises that are you really leveraging your social media networks? Could you be doing more? Yes, of course. And here comes the role of social media networking. Developing new connections is the key to build and expand your network. Leverage your current professional connections to tap in those secondary and tertiary networks. We have to figure out ways in which we can target the audience we will be seeing our content in no time. In contrast to this, let's have a glance on some of them. So firstly, go where your audience is. Developing a clear understanding of your social media target audience may be the most important thing you do as a social media marketer. What you can do is compile data of your existing customers and social media audience while covering some data based points like age, location, language, spending power and patterns, interest, challenges, etc. For instance, think of LinkedIn. As a virtual water cooler of sorts, this network is perfect for B2B content. Users on this network expect to see business-related topics. Instagram is where all the kids are nowadays. If you are looking to reach a younger generation, this is your bread and butter. Secondly, create unique posts for each social network. You should create unique posts for each social network and watch the traffic to your content pour in. For example, Twitter keeps your tweets within 100 characters or fewer. This allows for retweets and for people to add their own flavor to your post, making your tweets attention-grabbing and concise. Third, post well and post often. You have to test to find the right time for your audience for each social network. And then you need to schedule posts out so that your content can keep working for you. For instance, users who check Google Plus are all early birds. They get the content out early to give your audience fresh content to start the day with. Thereupon, in a nutshell, with your little efforts, you can leverage your social networks to work in your favor. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you, Sneha. It has some good stuff about networking, social media, and how to locate right audience. That's very important in that.
Thank you, sir.
And now let's move to our next speaker, and she is Ria Taneja. Ria, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm there.
Great.
Good evening to one and all present here. My name is Ria Taneja. Currently, I am a summer intern at Modlingua. I did my graduation from Delhi University in Maitre College in Political Science Honours. And after I did my Masters in French from Punjab University. My interest in French grew gradually when I was learning French at a certificate level in my college. Now, I'm going to tell you about the pros and cons of social media. The first and the most important part is the pros on social media. First, it encourages business viewpoint. Social media platforms are creating a great opportunity where small businesses and startups can start marketing and collect feedback for the product or services. Marketing of a business in the social media platform costs no money to get started. Any type of professional organization can use their social networking presence to connect with their current and future customers. Most platforms allow businesses to sell their products either directly through social media or to the company's page. This process makes it easier to expand and reach to the company's level. The next point is increased brand awareness. Spending on the video advertisement on television or asking public figures or celebrities for an endorsement can cost a huge amount of money as compared to social media. So, social media will cost less if you properly planned your any business. So, for example, like if you talk about the social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, you can easily grow your business there and you can easily expand your business. The third point, social media gives you a chance to connect with the people all around the world. One of the most obvious advantage of using the social networking is the opportunity of using these websites to reach people anywhere around the world. You can connect them through Facebook, LinkedIn, or any other platform. And one is the Twitter. Twitter is a microblogging platform that is used for comedy, current events, and journal observations. And Facebook, you can easily connect with people. Next point. Social networks are a useful law enforcement tool. You know, the data which is found in the USA, 73% of the law enforcement officials in the US, they believe that the social networking sites help them to solve the crimes with the more speed. And 85% of the police departments in the US use social media to investigate local offenses. It is a tool that helps officers to track their data and which gives a record of all their crimes. This advantage has led to numerous precautions, including crimes, and identify people who are involved in this. This is a very useful platform. The next point, deliver internal communications. HR communications on policies, benefits, and company news, social events, professional development, and many more, which help the employees to develop anytime. It helps in broadening our communication. One can easily connect social media. Not just a customer only can sell the product, even the company organization who are creating it, they can also sell their products. It has created new opportunity for all the youth and also for the older generation to give the chance to grow their business and expand easily. Now I'm going to tell you the cons of social media. Social media exposes a lot of private information. It can misuse your private information, pictures, data, and many more. As we all know that there are billions of people on social media and people used to converse them with different means like through Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram also, but they are not sure whom to share the private information. Sometimes the people get trapped in this and they share their private information which can affect their whole life. So it's very harmful. Especially there are political grudges also in this. Sometimes people involved in political fights and this can create the misuse of political information. The next con is security. As we all know that security is a huge factor that plays when it comes to social media and technology. We use social media so evidently and so effectively that we are not sure that how to secure it. And that's why some hackers, they easily track our information and they hack our social sites. And for example, the phones, your computer data, these can be easily hacked. So security is the main important tool. The third important is the harassment. Even the companies have also said employees may engage in harassing behavior towards co-workers in their social networks. And the HR, they have to take the action of their behaviors. Harassment, especially it is done with the women. For example, many women nowadays, they are not even aware what kind of photos they should upload. They upload a simple photo and they don't even know who has misused or misled to their picture. So this is the major factor that has played. The next is the legal violations. Employers become more susceptible to charges of discrimination, privacy violations, and interference with the employees' rights under Section 7 of the National Labor Relations Act, among other violations, when social media is used in the workplace. The next point is potential loss of productivity. Some employees may spend an inordinate amount of time on social media for the personal reasons while at work also. For their free time, they use social media. It has enforcing a clear policy on terms of use while working, and this can be led to the risk. As there are many sites on social media which has been sold, for example, OLX has been the popular site in which you can easily promote or sell your product. But this site has large number of frauders. This the people come from army background or whatever background, they steal your they said that we will transfer your money to the bank account immediately, but they don't do that. They just send you the scanned QR code, and people they do that, and they instead of sending the money, they just easily get trapped into it and their whole bank account is lost. So I would like to say that social media is good, but it has pros and cons too. One should be aware of how to use social media effectively. Now I would like to tell my friend Sneha to conclude the same speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Ria. It was a good, enlightening talk especially about the negative aspect and the security problems, as well as certain pros and cons that you discussed. It has helped a lot, to understand how social media can be advantageous as well as dangerous. Especially when somebody is creating fake account in your name and then start manipulating. They ask for money, they ask for privacy, and you are robbed off. These are all concern that everybody should have, and one should be very careful about it. And whenever if there is something fishy coming in, you should bring to the notice of the company as well as to the person, and create as much noise as possible so that everybody is alarmed. Recently, I just wanted to know, before I pass it on to Sneha, I will give you one example of how these negative people create issues with whom with business as well as individuals. You know how it happens. uh, I received a call from a very young dynamic person uh, who lives in Gujarat, somewhere in Surat area. He gives me a call and tells me that, sir, I have a girlfriend in Germany uh, who has come to the airport, and she just stuck up there. She has come to marry me, and with all her belongings, she is carrying around 80,000 euros with her. We have made so many good plans, and now she is not able to come out of the airport, and authorities are asking for bribes there. She is not able to convert her money because her passport has been seized. So please, what should I do? The moment he used this story, I got alerted, because you know it appears to be a fishy activity, because somebody's girlfriend coming with to India, getting stuck up, and not allowing to come out of the airport. I mean, and then asking money, etc. It doesn't happen that way. If somebody grabs your money, they will never give you back, and they will never tell you to give 20,000 rupees so that they will allow you to go out of the airport. And he had already transferred some money to the person, and that person was some fake name in name of some police person, and that fellow was asking for more money. Then I explained him what is the modus operandi of these cyber crooks and criminals. Then he got alarmed, and then he said that, okay, I'm sending a police officer to you in the airport. He will help you out. The moment he used this word, that lady disappeared from his WhatsApp, and there was no communication then after, and he was saved. Otherwise, he could have been robbed off of more money. Similarly, nowadays, lots of fake news, fake accounts are being created on Facebook. They approach you, they tell you that, I'm stuck up, I have been robbed, I have no money in my account, I'm in a hospital, please send me 10,000 rupees, such kind of things. Similarly, there was one old man who was being robbed off by a young lady who became so too friendly with him, and he was very happy, feeling happy that in this old age, when there is no one to take care of him, he has a girlfriend, and she robbed him of all his money, and he was helpless. So this kind of a story keeps on coming on, this cyber crime, we call it. And so one has to be very careful with social media. There is one very important thing which is important to share here before I pass it on to our keynote speaker and guest speaker for today, Dr. Amit Nagpal, who is already waiting here and patiently listening to us. And that is, this social media thing. If you compare, with black magic, आपने black magic का नाम तो सुना होगा ना? उसमें क्या होता है black magic में? You do things ऐसे as if, पूरी दुनिया को आपने भुला दिया हो, and आप उस काम में फंसते चले जाते हैं. ब्लैक मैजिक में कोई लेडी भी हो सकती है, कोई मेल भी हो सकता है. उसको अट्रैक्शन में आप इतने ज्यादा इन्वॉल्व हो जाते हैं, you get involved too much that you forget other things. This is what is called black magic. Facebook is also, or social media platforms, they have done very deep study on human minds. And slowly they have developed techniques, they have developed codes in such a way that they present you information to engage you in such a way that you forget everything, and you get attracted on a daily basis. आप स्क्रॉल करते जाते हो and सब कुछ भूल जाते हो उस पीरियड. And जब तक वो काम आप नहीं करते on a daily basis or on a regular interval throughout day, आपकी जिंदगी जो है वो void नजर आती है. So, it is a kind of mental sickness that has come up to some extent to a large number of population throughout the globe. Because you want not to devote more time on social media, but you end up devoting more time. And that, part is handled by Facebook and smart, AI tools in such a way that you don't realize that you are killing your time and you end up killing it. And this is happening on a daily basis. Can you imagine the level of penetration that social media has done on our minds? There was a movie, on this particular thing by founders, or I will say co-founder or top-notch technical researchers who were part of Facebook, who were part of Google, who were part of LinkedIn, and they had warned founders of Facebook as well as to the Twitter as well as to Google, etc., that this kind of activity is going to kill millions of people and rob of their time. So while developing these tools, please understand and don't engage too much in reading someone's mind and then playing with it. And this happens, on a long-term basis, short-term basis, and big long-term basis also. So Facebook or social media platform can create softly a public opinion against a government, or in favor of the government, or in favor of a candidate, or against the candidate. Similarly, they can also manipulate your mind, and to such an extent that if today you are a supporter of Modi, tomorrow you can become one of the biggest haters of Modi also. Because this kind of manipulation is done through code and through black magic, I say. So be very, very careful when you are engaging on social media, or scrolling, because while scrolling, they are also playing with your mind. While scrolling, they are also reading your mind. They are reading your interest. They are reading your liking. They are reading what you hate. And once, if I am aware of everything of yours, it becomes easy for me to play with you and your mind. So this is what social media is all about, my friend. From my perspective of research, which is not very much, but now I would like to invite our friend, Dr. Amit Nagpal, who is an expert in this area. And he has devoted more than 20 years in social media, as well as alike activities, digital marketing and all. He is author also. He is a visiting professor at Birla Institute of Management and Technology. Luckily, I have also taught there. He is a blogger. He engages in variety of activities, including personal branding, influencer marketing. He promotes influencer. He has been also linked with a variety of other organizations, including NIT Imperia, and also advisor to NASSCOM. NASSCOM is, the top-notch software promotion agency of India. And he has been trainer, facilitator, mentor, author, and whatnot, and a storyteller. And he is also, interestingly, president of Bloggers Alliance. He has identified, a market of bloggers, and that's how he has created, this alliance, and he is its founder president. So let's listen to him, and if you have any questions, etc., please hold on. We will have a question answer session at the last, and then we will close. So I welcome Dr. Amit Nagpal. Please carry on, sir.
Thanks a lot, Ravi, for the lovely introduction. So I will start with one of my favorite sentences that, a lot of people say that social media is a game changer. So I would say that social media is not a game changer. It is a new game in itself. And it is a new game in itself because, on one hand, I would say, half of the success, which is required on social media is similar to what is required offline also. For example, to be a good leader offline, you should encourage and appreciate people offline. Same way, you have to encourage, and appreciate people online. Now, fundamental principles are same. But at the same time, there are a lot of things, for example, understanding viral marketing. Why do people share content? There is an American who has written one very interesting book called Shareology, which goes even deeper than viral marketing, because it talks about why do human beings share anything? Why do we even share our lunch boxes in school? So what is the, need for sharing? So he goes, deeper. Now, let me give you, some examples. What do I mean when I say social media is a new game? What do you need to learn to be a winner in this new game? So I had created a formula for social media success, which is social media success is equal to mindful content plus passionate engagement plus heartfelt collaboration. Mindful content is, as some of you were talking about, content which is precise, content which is audience centric. To understand your audience, because if you are not writing for your audience on social media, then I would say write it in your personal diary. If you are writing only for your own creative satisfaction, then maybe it is better to write in a personal diary. But if you are writing on social and digital media for the public, then you have to keep in mind the audience preferences. What do they like? And I have had, some very interesting experiences also, which I will share with you. So I'm really fond of social media, and so one day what happened, I shared one article on brand storytelling on my LinkedIn, and I think it was a day before Deepavali. So somebody commented on my post, Amit, why are you sharing such serious stuff, on festival occasion? And after that, I became very careful. On Saturday, Sunday, I share humorous content, even on LinkedIn, add hashtag weekend fun. On festival occasions, I will share something light. So you have to keep the audience mood in mind. That's very important. So that is mindful content. Then passionate engagement, somebody is appreciating you in the comments, then you have to be courteous to reply to their comment with equal sincerity. Then the next step is heartfelt collaboration. So heartfelt collaboration, what I mean is, in simple, if I give you a simple example, sometimes, maybe your father has a small business and he has mentioned our chartered accountant on his website. The chartered accountant has mentioned our clients on his website. So this is a very simple way of collaboration where you cross promote each other. So social media has actually, created a culture of what, in my MBA days, I had heard this term first time, mutual admiration society. You appreciate me, I appreciate you. You follow me on Twitter, I follow you back. You like my post, I like yours. But I think, that kind of a mutual admiration, there is nothing wrong in it. Sometimes I joke that, even Prime Minister Modi and, President Trump had a mutual admiration for each other, and there is nothing wrong in it. Okay, so mutual respect and admiration is fine. But you cannot get 1 lakh followers on Twitter or 5 lakh Facebook likes only by mutual admiration, because that it can work you, it can get you maybe 5,000 or 1,000 followers. You have to create good content. You have to create engagement with your audience. You have to collaborate with the right people. You have to build a community. You have to nurture the community. In community also, I would say there can be two kinds of communities. One is the peer community. So maybe Ravi and I, we are founders of organizations, so he is my peer. So we interact at equal level. But
It seems there is some disturbance. Not a problem. Let Dr. Amit Nagpal come back.
Concept about social media, which in short, I call it PTC. So to succeed on social media, P stands for personalize. I'll give you a very simple example. Let's say on Deepavali or New Year, I get 500 people send me, Happy New Year message on WhatsApp or, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. Now out when I read those 500, scroll through those 500 messages on WhatsApp, 400 to 430 messages are just, forwarded greetings. But there are 60, 70 people who have written Happy Diwali, sir. And I always respond back to them because if they have gone out of the way to build a relationship with me, then I am also courteous. Thanks for the Deepavali wishes. I reciprocate your greetings. But somebody who has only sent a forwarded message, I don't care to reply. Okay, so the point is personalize. If you are sending a LinkedIn connection request, one very famous senior storyteller in US who works for clients like NASA, Google. So he told me once that, Amit, I accept request only when somebody sends a message describing why he or she wants to connect with me. So that is personalization or customization. Second is, in PTC, the second part is trust. In fact, to be very, very honest, in developing countries, one startup founder had mentioned it in very straightforward, blunt terms also in an interview, that in developing countries we have a trust deficit. People don't trust each other so easily because there are a lot of malpractices, unethical practices. So winning trust online can be more difficult than winning trust offline. So there are solutions you have to find. For example, in India, I have generally experienced that if you want to do a deeper collaboration, you have a more, we want to build a more closer relationship, then it is to have an offline interaction after, some online, maybe you have already had an online relationship for 6 months, 1 year, then it is better to meet offline, and then the trust increases. So trust is a very, very important factor. And I would share something interesting with you, that I have written one book, The 7 Joys of Life, which is about, my personal experiences in life, anecdotes, short stories. So what happened was, there are 18 contributors to that book from 6 countries, and all the contributors I have never met in real life. They are all online connections. They have contributed very interesting articles to my book without meeting me offline. There are people from US, South Africa, Europe. And, the main thing, which success strategy, which I would, highlight, is that I have been able to win their trust, so that, they have contributed to my book. And they are not even, because 18 contributors are there. So the royalty, if I, will be very, very low if we share all of us. So then, don't even bother to ask me for royalty. So that's the kind of trust, these people have. So trust is very important. Now, how do you build trust? Again, some principles will be common. How do we build offline trust? Whatever, gestures we are doing, what language we are using, people are constantly observing us. And, people will build trust in, people will take time to, trust you. I remember maybe, Ravi and Modlingua, I have been maybe receiving his mail for, 7-8 years. And then, we were talking one day, and I, by mistake, I said, Ravi, your organization, Modlingua. So he started, laughing that a lot of people, mispronounce it. It has got nothing to do with Modi, and it is Modlingua. So we spoke on phone, and so, the trust will build over a period of time. Trust is not something, we meet today and tomorrow, somebody starts trusting you completely. So that is not the way it is going to happen. It is going to take time. The third is the human connection. Maybe you prefer to call it emotional connection, or human connect, or human to human, whatever you call it. So I will give you one simple example to explain what I mean. Just a minute. Yeah. So we are organizing a leaders chat on Twitter twice a month. And in the past 2 months, we have recently started Twitter Spaces, which is a audio chat. Now, when we are doing text chat, let's say there is a gentleman, famous gentleman, Rahul Wadhawan. So we are interacting. He is sending a text tweet. I am replying to text, his text tweet. Then the human connect is not very strong because words do not build bonds so easily in the text format unless you are a magical writer and you use, very emotionally connecting language. So for an average person, I immediately realized that when we started Twitter Spaces, which is an audio chat, then the human connection started happening faster. Because when you or I listen to somebody's voice, we feel more connected with that person rather than reading his tweets. Now, video takes, even podcasting next level. So audio, if audio creates a little better human connection, then video creates a very strong human connection. Because you can even observe the body language of each other. You can notice the vibrations and body language easily. So one day I had an argument. There is a person who is an offline networking expert, and he shared in his session that you must meet people offline. Online can never build that kind of a connection. And so I said, what is the difference between online and offline? Because you can watch each other's body language on Skype, or nowadays Zoom and all are more popular. So I said the only difference is you can't hug each other, which we don't do in any case in India. Maybe Americans, Europeans, when they meet, you might have seen presidents, prime minister hugging each other. The only thing which we cannot do online is hug each other. And nowadays, in the days of COVID, so of course we are not even shaking hands. So it is, as good as offline. So trust and human connection, you will find. I will share one very interesting story with you. Ravi was talking about leveraging social media. So you will be surprised that there is this lady called Jennifer Sertle, based in New York in US. So I connected with her almost years ago. She has also been a teacher. So she shared a poem with me, which was about teaching. Then after 6 months, 1 year of interaction, I think we connected initially on LinkedIn, then we connected on Twitter. We had a Skype call. She felt a spiritual connection with India. So she gave me, coaching for 1 year free of cost, because she wanted to connect with more Indians. So, I connected with her friends. She connected with my friends. So that was, the first stage. Then second stage was even more surprising. So when I connected with her friends, so one of David Wilcox, he's a 1978 batch business school. Now, David is based in Boston. The area of technology is based in Boston. So David also has an Indian daughter-in-law. Visits almost 5 years ago. So he was visiting India. I met him offline. I introduced him with some of my friends. Now, David Social Entrepreneur launched at British Council office in New Delhi. So when I went for that launch, David introduced me to the public relation officer of Jaipur Rugs, which is a famous carpet export company and made rugs and all. So when he introduced me to Jaipur Rugs PROs, he immediately said, Amit, we were looking for some storyteller, somebody who can do business storytelling for us. Very soon I got a very good assignment from them, where I was working with Jaipur Rugs Foundation for 3 months. I even went to Jaipur, met their carpet weavers, we created their stories. So imagine an American lady I connected with online. I am yet to meet her offline. She connected me to a friend who came to India. Then David connected me to an Indian, and that Indian gave me business worth more than lakh rupees. Okay, so this is one example, and I have hundreds of such stories. Nowadays, even 50% of my friends are, connections which I initially met on social media, and then, we met offline and we became, even closer friends. So, there was another interesting incident. I was invited as a speaker to Russian Center for Science and Culture. And, it was, interestingly, it was Internet Day celebrations. And there was a person who was very critical, and he was a very aged person, and he was very critical of it. Internet, that mobile and internet and social media are destroying everything, so very, very critical. And we was supposedly celebrating Internet Day celebrations. So once he stopped, I told one very simple thing. And I told him, sir, I only believe that positive online company is better than cynical offline company. If I meet, positive people online, I would prefer them, over cynical people, meeting cynical people offline. So we have to see both the positive and negative sides of anything. Like Ravi was pointing out, yes, we can get addicted to social media. Yes, we need to be careful about, the security issues. So those things are important, but at the same time, social media has a lot of professional usage. You can get clients, you can get job offers, you can build relationships, you can make friends or contacts or whatever you are looking for. So I have coached. There was one client I had coached in South Africa, and he was an professional life coach or executive coach. So after 1 year of my coaching, he became a CEO of a football club. Because in a football club, everybody needs to build a personal brand, because nowadays, we love Tendulkar or we love, Virat Kohli more than the cricket. So, so he got that assignment. So social media has helped me make friends all over the world, professional connections. It has got me business, it has got me clients, and there are, hundreds of such stories, to share. So I think, you also need to understand social media psychology. Why do people share content? So for example, I have realized that the most important reason why we click the share button is emotional connect, and we are emotional at that point of time when we click the share button. Maybe I am from Faridabad, the blogger is also from Faridabad, so I feel emotionally connected and I click the share button. Maybe the blogger is also very fond of cricket, I am also fond of cricket, and I click the share button. So as human beings, we find something common, we feel emotionally connected, and then we click the share button. So the emotional connect is the most important reason, and these emotions can be both positive and negative. Now I will give you one very interesting example of negative emotions. Of course, we can take simple examples like Osama bin Laden killed by Americans was an article which was shared by lakhs of people because maybe of patriotism for India, or maybe it is hatred for Osama bin Laden, whatever, or you call it a combination of both. But I'll share one very interesting example. There is a guy called Dave Carroll. He was a Canadian guitarist, musician, who has now become a business storyteller and management consultant. So what happened, how he turned into a consultant and storyteller? So he traveled by United Airlines flight. The cargo mishandled his guitar. Guitar string was broken. He was unhappy. He went and complained to the cargo section. They, did not handle the complaint properly, did not apologize. He came home and created a song, United Breaks Guitar. And that song today has 1 crore plus views, 10 million plus views. Now, why did 1 crore people watch that song? Why did 10 lakh people share that song? Because those 10 lakh people also had a frustrating experience with cargo, and by clicking that share button, they were releasing their own frustration. Okay. So, both positive and negative emotions are important for connecting. And then the song became so popular. United Airlines hired him as a customer service consultant, and he came to India for a NASCOM event to conduct a master class on business storytelling. That is how careers change when, God wants it. So I would like with this example, and now I would like to take your questions on what specific doubts you have regarding social media, or you have specific questions relating to Twitter or LinkedIn or Quora, so you can ask any kind of questions.
Thank you, Dr. Amit. आपने जो अभी इनलाइटिंग हमें नॉलेज दिया उसके लिए स्पेशली जो स्टोरी टेलिंग करते हुए आपने जो कहानी बताई अबाउट लिवरेजिंग नेटवर्क, how you grew your connection from a small network to a larger network at national level as well as national level, international level. You got connected to a variety of people, including guitarist, football player, and all doing good things, And it is very interesting to understand that your observation is very. I'm 100% in agreement with your observation, especially when you are talking about this PTC, personalized trust and then connection, and in that you have mentioned about why to engage offline with cynical people, negative people. It's better to remain online and be with positive ones, no? And it gives us lots of opportunity to filter out. I mean, in life, I have had experience of meeting with negative people and get drained throughout the day, at times a week or at times a month, because you met one negative person. The negative vibes coming from bad people or negative people kills your spirit. So it is always good to be with positive people. And of course, when we are meeting online, it breaks lots of barriers, especially not through writing, but of course through voice and then through video. And especially in pandemic time, when you can't hug each other, neither you can shake hands. Namaskar करके ही काम चलाते हैं, तो that namaskar can happen even online, Now I would like to come back to our friends who are watching us on YouTube. If you have any questions, any doubts, anything that you want to ask Dr. Nagpal, please write your questions in the comment box, number one. And those who are currently here in our boardroom on Zoom, they can also ask questions through Payal. Please, the floor is open. Yes, there is one observation that has come from Sneha Ghosh. She is saying social media is mainly used as an entertainment platform, but apart from this, nowadays it is really a one and only way out to get connected with people, to find out jobs and so on. So, I mean, how to move ahead in making use of social media? We understand that, social media is very useful. We can do business, we can do that. But what is the roadmap? I mean, what are the basic steps that need to be followed? That is the question which I can guess Sneha is trying to ask. Although she has made a comment, but I have formulated, out of that comment, a question for you, Dr. Nagpal, please.
Right. So, yeah, that's a very good question actually, because to leverage social media, you have to build relationships. How do you build relationships? There can be very simple ways, liking somebody's post. Now your question will be, he's getting 1,000 likes. He will not even notice my like. For that kind of a person, maybe you need to comment on his blogs to catch attention. Then, I will give you one example. Harjeet Khanduja is a very, very famous person on LinkedIn. His posts get 1,000 to 2,000 likes on LinkedIn. Now, I wanted to catch his attention. I read his blogs. I genuinely liked his blogs. He talks about management lessons from a lot of Hindi films. So I started commenting on his blogs. I not only caught his attention, later on, then step by step, I had written one book, Heroes Among Stars. So I included his story in the book. Then I, invited him to be advisor to Bloggers Alliance, and everything happened. And after becoming advisor to Bloggers Alliance, I met him in Bombay. So imagine, he became an advisor to my organization without meeting me offline. So he had that kind of trust in me. Now, more senior the people, more difficult it is to catch attention, definitely. Okay. So one example would be, if Harjeet is getting 2,000 likes on LinkedIn posts, then maybe he's getting 50, likes or 10 comments on Twitter. So maybe catching his attention on Twitter would be easier. Okay. So that is one example. So fundamentally, think of building a relationship. Like, LinkedIn has this feature of wishing happy birthday, anniversary, but there again, most of the people are making the same mistake. If somebody sends me a happy birthday, happy work anniversary message, I don't reply. But if he writes happy work anniversary Dr. Amit, then I would reply, thank you, Mr. So and so. Okay, so we will have to take a little effort, go a little out of the way to connect with, genuinely connect with people. And, more when you are trying to connect with senior people. When my students, BIMTech students, I endorse a student for a skill in marketing, and, they send me a message, thank you for endorsement. I, really get wild. I say, this is what I am teaching you. Thank you for endorsing me in marketing. Thank you. If you don't want to call me sir, at least call me, thank you, Dr. Amit, for endorsing me on marketing. So at least take this effort to customize your message. Okay. So this kind of personalization and customization is very important, especially when you are trying to connect with senior people. And corporate world, sometimes people can have huge egos, successful entrepreneurs, so sometimes you have to, personalize, use very polite language, so that will build relationships. And once you have built relationships, then, in fact, I will also share one important thing that we say in business networking, that give first. Now you will ask me, sir, I am a student. How can I give to a what can I give to a vice president? How do I, what can I give to a senior manager? Now, if you have the intention to give, you will find the ways to give. For example, I found one very, corporate world has a lot of politics, competition. So I found one very interesting article, how to block negative energy in your environment. And it was a very, very relevant article for the corporate world. And I shared it with many people and they were very happy, So understand the problems of people and then share content. Sir, this is something, latest development on employer branding. Maybe he's a very senior HR guy, but he doesn't know about the latest development in employer branding. Or maybe he is happy that, you have made some effort to give something in the relationship. What do most people do? They will send me a connection, Facebook friend request. Next day, they will, please like my page. They will, send me a request. Next day, sir, can you help me get a job? Now, if there is no relationship, who has the time to help, thousands of people? Because in India, we have so much of unemployment. So, I can't, maybe if I'm in a very good mood, I will help one or two people, but I cannot help thousands of, such people who are sending messages without any relationship. So build relationship, that is the important part.
Right. So, I mean, I understand Dr. Nagpal, is very well explained. We have to engage. That is what, in fact, when I started, engaging with our interns, started training them, the first thing that I have told them was, if you watch a video, let's say anyone's video, and you like it, just click a like button and that's all. I mean, that is not the good way of rewarding that person. No? It's always good to write 2 lines, 3 lines, 4 lines, what you liked, what you just didn't like. I mean, one feels good about it, gets encouraged, and you are noticed. But if you simply, pass on information from here to there, then what is your role? You are a human. And you had lost that opportunity of commenting, you could have added some value in that particular process, and you have behaved like a donkey. You are an intellectual person, and you are acting as a commoner. So if you wanted to distinguish yourself from the common masses, always add some value to the communication that you are making in social media, or even during exchange of your WhatsApp messages, or trying to catch hold of somebody's attention. Unless and until you add some value, you can't expect someone to come and do miracle for you. I mean, we can do miracle only when we make efforts. But if you can't even comment on somebody's highly made efforts, and you expect that person to respond to your messages and give you something good in life, that doesn't happen. I mean, not even your family members will do that. If you keep ignoring somebody's efforts on a daily basis, if you don't give thanks, or you don't appreciate, you don't comment, you don't engage, you will be considered, useless fellow of the family. And then in the virtual world and in business world also, same thing happens. So with that, we have another question, that has come from Nikita, our lead intern. She is asking a question. You said trust is important, but on 30th of June, there was a news that was broadcast which said that 500 million users' data on LinkedIn was leaked. In such a scenario, how do we build trust?
See, I think number one, don't share too much information on social media, so that even if there is leakage, so something which is very personal, which you don't want everybody to know. Again, like I will give you one example. So when I'm teaching LinkedIn, male students, I tell them, okay, mention your mobile number. But many female students are not comfortable with mentioning their mobile number on their LinkedIn because they are too shy, because they don't want unwanted attention, because, so I give comfortable if you can handle, because sometimes, people misuse that also. So if you can handle that misuse, then maybe mention your mobile number. Otherwise, don't mention your mobile. Okay, you can mention just your email ID. So do not give unnecessary information which you can avoid. After that, if somebody comes to know of my birthday, he what damage he or she can cause to me, he can, maybe send me a birthday message. If you don't want that happy birthday message, then don't mention your birthday. So do not give unnecessary information. Do not give too much information. I am eating this at this place all the time, then of course, maybe you are inviting problems.
Right. So that's a good answer. In fact, we have to be very careful when we are sharing, the information. And many times, there are smart, data collectors. They post 10 jobs available, but they never give their contact numbers. And they ask you to share that contact number publicly, as well as they even ask you to share your email ID. Can you imagine, your email ID, after you share it on public life, on email, including telephone number, who can catch up? I mean, there are thousands of crook vultures available in the market, and they can start misusing it. So please, in my opinion, we should not respond to such kind of messages at all. And if at all, if there is some seriousness in that, one can connect one-to-one, not on public, platform. Many times they give, they send, messages, but they don't share their contact, but they ask you to share yours. It should be reciprocal at least, now there is another question, Amitji, for you, and there are two questions. In fact, I am combining them in one. One is from Nisha, and another is from Ashok. And there is another from Asmita also. They are talking about, nowadays there are lots of people who do not use social media network. And given the importance of social media, it is almost mandatory that people should now start coming and interacting there. So Asmita is asking this question. Politically correct statements. What is that? That is one question. And then another one is, what is the medium path, that one can take? Buddha had advised everybody to take medium path, don't go into extreme. What is that medium path? And there is third question that has come from Nisha, that many times trolling, happens on social media because of frustration that everybody has on a day-to-day life. And a simple man or woman or girl, for no fault, is trolled and she gets into depression, at times commits suicides also. So how to manage all this mess that happens on social media?
Okay. So first point, I think it's very simple that if people are not using social media, so at school level, we have to create awareness about the benefits of social media, number one. Number two, how to constructively use social media. Now, everybody may be using Facebook, and a lot of people, parents may be cursing Facebook, but Facebook also has, a lot of pages of motivational speakers, positive content. Okay, so you can use Facebook in a positive way also. I have some, found some wonderful pages, marketing mentors on Instagram. So if you want to look for good content, you will find good content everywhere. Okay. Now, second point, following a middle path and, being politically correct. Okay. Now, I will give you one very interesting example to be politically correct. Let's assume your native place is Kanpur. You have shifted to Delhi for your education. Because you are new to Delhi, you are feeling lonely. Because you are feeling lonely, you have started going to an orphanage or an old age home to take care, to form that emotional blank which you are feeling in your life. So you have going to a orphanage or old age home to find that peace of mind. Now, a politically correct statement is, when you are posting on social media, will you post on social media that I was feeling lonely, that is why I have started going to an orphanage to take care of children? It is politically incorrect, because what you are saying is, मेरी जरूरत थी इसीलिए मैं समाज सेवा कर रहा हूं. Okay, so you are making a fool of yourself. So you have to use a more, yesterday I was reading one sentence that, it is words that mostly undress you, so you are, showing your naked emotions or, this thing by doing something like that. So be careful. This is one example of being, politically correct. Then medium path. Now, one path is, like I say, I tell my students, don't discuss politics on social media. So one student comes and says, sir, why should I not discuss? Why should I not share my perspective? Okay, I will tell you a way so that you do not professionally damage, your business or your job. So what you can do is you can share your views on politics on Facebook under friends mode. Because if you do it on LinkedIn and Twitter, you know, it goes to too many people. It creates, LinkedIn, of course, is not a platform for sharing politics. But if you do it on Twitter, everything is public. If you delete tweet, it is saved on 1000 applications. So sharing anything controversial on Twitter can be harmful for your professional career. One, you know, a lawyer friend told me that he was, you know, supporting one political party very frequently, and his client started objecting, you know, so he started, losing his clients because of favoring one political party too much. So you have to be careful, okay, for your professional interest. But personally, because Facebook, if you are doing it in friend setting, then, you know, your friends will at least try to understand you, but your general public will not try to understand you. They will troll you, they will misunderstand you, they will, you know. So, you know, with general public, it is more difficult to make people understand. But with friends, you know, you have certain views, you can share more easily. Otherwise, you know, if you do it on a platform like Twitter, you will spend hours on argument and, you know, end up wasting your time also. So you have to, you know, unless you want to become a political activist, you know, you are getting some benefit out of that, then it's a different thing. So don't, you know, lose professionally. So this is a medium path. So do only this discuss that you discuss, but you discuss only on Facebook, only under friend settings, so that, you know, you do not suffer professionally. Okay, so this is one example. Now the last question, Ravi, can you repeat?
Yeah. I mean, all these. There were three questions which has been addressed already by Amit.
Right.
I fully agree on one point that you were talking about: political comments and statements. If you, if you are a professional and serious about your profile as a job seeker or trying to move on the ladder, keep yourself away from politics, because when the more higher you go, the more deep research is done by HR people on you. And similarly, the others also, they follow you, they watch you, and they nowadays, all these things happen more on social media, especially on LinkedIn. And even if you're going abroad, especially in America as well as in Canada, your digital footmark that we were talking about is very, very important, especially from LinkedIn perspective. And there are some academic platforms, including Google Scholar, Academia, Elements Academia. There are certain points where you have to create slowly over a period of time your footmark. And with regard to Twitter as well as Facebook, I'm also a supporter of a political party. I'm a strong supporter. And I faced lots of problem at times when I was making some political comments or posts. And I started fighting with my own friends, time came. And then I realized that I'm doing, this foolish activity. I mean, you lose friends just because you said something, and many times you don't mean it. And you were undressing yourself, on social media by doing, saying something which is very correct, but you have undressed yourself. So there has to have some filter. I guess this is what Amit ji has correctly pointed out, that don't undress yourself too much in public life, especially on social media, because you may not mean it, but others can mean something else. And it creates lots of confusion, and especially when people don't know you correctly. Close friends, लंगोटिया फ्रेंड्स दैट यू से, उसके सामने आप कोई भी पॉलिटिकल स्टेटमेंट दे दो, वो जान जाएगा कि आप अभी किस स्टेट ऑफ माइंड में, बिकॉज फ्रेंड्स अंडरस्टैंड ईच वंस फ्रीक्वेंसी. आप रो रहे हो तो भी वो समझ जाएगा कि अंदर से ये बहुत दुखित है, चलो इसने करे, व्हाटएवर स्टेटमेंट ही हैज मेड, वो चाहता है कि आपको रिफ्यूट करे, but वो बोलेगा नहीं Ravi, you are right at that point of time, because he doesn't want to disturb. But others will not understand your pain and will disturb you only when you are fully disturbed, and that will be the peak of your disturbance, and you will start justifying, saying, no, I wanted to mean this, I wanted to do that. Instead of getting engaged into that kind of trash negative thing, it's better to be reserved and use something positive, something professional. This is what I have been doing most of the time. At times I do, disturbance. I want to disturb myself. Then I do use some political comments. Otherwise, जिसको आप बोलते हैं भगवान मालिक है उससे दूर रही. So this is what is the take, from me, as well as if there is more questions, and it seems there is no more coming questions coming. Let me still I read once if there is something. Sneha. Yes, Sneha has asked one more question, Amit. This will be our last question. And question to Amit sir is that social media has security policies, still it has loopholes. How can we overcome the problems like unwanted copies of our post? And there is another question, influencer, new terms of these days. What is the secret behind this? Only a good content and presentation? So that she has asked two questions, Amit. One is security policies, copy paste, content plagiarism, as well as impersonification of another profile. And second one is how to be an influencer only by good content and presentation. What is the way forward?
Yeah, so impersonation, for example, somebody creates a fake profile in your name and sends messages. So you have to be careful. As soon as you come to know, you have to change the password of your account. You can post on your Facebook or your WhatsApp group that my account has been hacked, and please do not, reply to such messages. So that is, at least you should inform your network that your account has been hacked and it is being misused to send some messages. The next question was how to become an influencer. So like I said, mindful content plus passionate engagement plus heartfelt collaboration. So this is the way to become an influencer. So create good content, then engage with your audiences, build relationship with them. Human beings, unfortunately or fortunately, we are not like robots. We have soft corners and hard corners for people. Okay. So if your audience has soft corner for you, then they will share your content. If they have hard corners for you, they won't like to share your content. So you have to build, a relationship with them, a good, this thing with them. Then of course look for deeper collaboration. Like I will give you one simple example. Let's say you are an MBA student specializing in marketing, and there is another friend of yours who is MBA student specializing in HR. Now what is common between marketing and HR? One common topic is employer branding, because it uses the branding concepts of marketing. And employer branding is done by organizations through HR department, that we are good employers. Now, if both of you write a joint blog on employer branding and then share on all your social networks, so what will happen? You will become popular on your friend's network, and she will become popular in your network. So both of you will benefit, and the audience will grow, and you do not have any competition with each other. So collaboration will actually, deeper collaboration will happen when there is no feeling of competitiveness or distrust. Now, Ravi Kumar runs a language translation company. I run Bloggers Alliance, which is a bloggers and, creative people storytellers association. So there is nothing, to compete. So we can, collaborate and support each other. But if you have a doubt that, this person is also going to apply for a marketing job, I am also going to apply for a marketing job, then of course, you will not be able to collaborate fully or cooperate fully with, because you have that competitive feeling also. So collaborate, build a, like I said, peer community with people who are not your competitors.
Great. So, I mean, collaboration is the way forward in a way to, apart from content, engagement, etc. We need to collaborate with variety of people on different topics of interest, common interest. And the more we do that, the more likes, popularity, etc. increases, and that way one becomes influencer. In fact, I will tell you, I'm struggling to be an influencer. But luckily, my daughter has become influencer on LinkedIn. She few weeks back, she wrote one post, and that was liked by around that was read by around 10 lakh people. Similarly, before that, she wrote one something on coding and leadership of women leadership and all. That was liked by around 4 lakh people. That was not liked, I will say, read by 4 lakh people. And I look forward to her more posts. Luckily, she was our intern 3 years back. Now she's currently studying her Bachelor of Science in University of Texas at Dallas, and currently on a summer break. She will be writing more, but I learned from her, because she engages with people and leaders, and those people also comment on her post. So that way, such influencers, if they start commenting on your post, it means engagement, it means more traffic, it means more followers, endorsement, and that's how the brand builds up. I'm trying hard on that. I do have some around 18,000 connections on LinkedIn, but I strive to be an influencer, and I'm making efforts.
But Ravi, you are already an influencer on your Google group.
That is okay. But I want to be, my also little more visible on LinkedIn. I mean, there are some platforms like Facebook also. We have around a group which has 20,000 members. We have a Hindi Center that has around 25,000 followers. I want to have at least 1 lakh, something of that sort. Similarly, on our YouTube channel also, I have made making efforts, but it takes time. It's not that easy. Otherwise, everybody could be an influencer, no? So that is what Amit, and I wanted to thank everybody for time that you have devoted, and Amit for your sharing all such a wonderful thoughts, etc. And it has been a great day. Thank you all my interns, presenters, and best wishes to everybody, and we'll catch up again. We will have another webinar coming up soon. We'll announce about it tomorrow, and we'll work out. Thank you, our presenters and coordinator, as well as lead intern. Best wishes to you all, and thanks a lot. If you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe and be part of it.